Lena had always been a little anxious, but lately, things had started to feel wrong. She'd been having trouble sleeping, and when she did sleep, her dreams were strange and disturbing. But it wasn't just her dreams. It was what she saw when she woke up. It started with little things. The shadows in the corners of her room seemed darker than before. The creaking of the floorboards in the middle of the night felt louder, like someone was walking around when no one else was there. She told herself it was just her imagination. After all, she'd been stressed with work lately, and maybe that was the reason for the odd feeling. But then, it got worse. One morning, Lena stood in front of her bathroom mirror, brushing her teeth. She blinked and looked at her reflection. But something was wrong. Her reflection didn't move when she moved. For a moment, it stood completely still, eyes wide, staring back at her, a cold, empty expression. Lena's heart skipped a beat. She turned around quickly, to see if anyone else was in the room. But she was alone. The room felt colder now, and the hairs on her neck stood up. She slowly looked back at the mirror. Her reflection was normal again, brushing her teeth as she was. Shaking, Lena grabbed her phone to call her friend, Emma. But when she looked at her phone screen, the numbers kept changing. She blinked again, and the time that had been 8:45 now read 3:32. She thought she must be overtired, maybe even starting to hallucinate. She called Emma anyway, but the phone was silent, and no one picked up. The strange occurrences didn't stop. Over the next few days, Lena's reflection in the mirror started to change more often. It would smile when she wasn't smiling. It would frown when she was happy. Sometimes, it would move before she did, like it was watching her from behind the glass. Lena began to avoid mirrors altogether, but that didn't stop the creeping sensation that someone, or something, was always watching her. One night, Lena woke up to the sound of scratching, like nails dragging across the floor. She opened her eyes, and in the darkness, she saw the outline of a figure standing at the edge of her bed. She couldn't see its face, but she knew it was there. The figure seemed to flicker like a shadow, and its outline wavered in the dim light. Lena was too terrified to scream. She froze, watching as the figure slowly raised one hand toward her, its fingers curling like claws. The figure's mouth opened, but no sound came out. Then, in the silence, Lena heard a voice inside her head. "You're not alone." She squeezed her eyes shut, trying to block out the voice. When she opened them again, the figure was gone. The room was empty. Lena didn't know if she had imagined it or if she was truly losing her mind. But it didn't matter. Every day felt like a battle with her own sanity, the line between reality and hallucination becoming thinner and thinner. That night, she stood in front of the mirror once more. Her reflection was still. She reached out a trembling hand to touch the glass. But as soon as her fingers made contact, her reflection moved on its own, grabbing her hand tightly and pulling her toward the mirror. She screamed, but it was too late. The reflection yanked her in, pulling her deeper and deeper until Lena was lost in the glass. The next morning, Lena's apartment was silent. Her phone was found lying on the floor, but there was no sign of her anywhere. Only the mirror remained, untouched, reflecting nothing but darkness.